some baseball news. Last week, the World Series obviously happened, and the Dodgers won. They won the series 4-1, but it was a really fun World Series for me personally to watch. I thought it was super exciting, a lot of offense happening, a lot of home runs. And then, the Freddie Freeman story is obviously really cool with everything that's happened with his kids and just kind of his family backstory. But, winning the World Series MVP and doing what he did on the biggest stage with everything that happened for him and his family this year was super cool and probably couldn't happen to a better person. He just seems like one of the most down-to-earth guys. So it was really cool to see him do it on the biggest stage.
No, I was going to say, it definitely was one of the more fun World Series that I've watched in a while. Like, obviously being a Cubs fan, 2016 was the best one, but, like, I don't know, I just wasn't really, like, watching too much baseball this year, I feel like, besides the Cubs. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it's hard for me to just watch, like, MLB, like, casually. Like, I can watch college baseball casually all day long. I don't know why, but the MLB is just, like, harder for me to watch casually. But, like, the second the playoffs come on and, like, that World Series with, like, the two best teams, I was watching it every night. It was, I don't know, something about it made it way more. I mean, the two best teams, obviously, but I think I just hated both teams, too. So I just wanted to see
on
some.
top of that, Pete, you had, arguably the two best players in the game going at it with Shohei and Judge. I know Shohei got hurt, and then Judge really didn't have a good series, like really a good postseason at all. But like that for me, I thought was the coolest thing.
I mean, the Dodgers are just loaded with stars. The Yankees are as well with Soto. The thing I'm watching the World Series, I'm watching the playoffs. The fact that a guy built like Aaron Judge, who you can look at his numbers, how many home runs did he hit this year? Look, the power, like the build. I look at what is he, 6'5", maybe 230, 6'7",
no,
230.
he's like 6'7".
The guy is playing center field in the World Series, and I know he missed the fly ball in that last game, and that was a huge error. You could see it on the replay. He takes his eye off at the very last second, but I want to say the game before or earlier in that same game, I saw him have to range to left center up against the wall and make an incredible play. And it's just like, that's Aaron Judge out there doing that. Like, these guys are on a different level. That is the best of the best. You look at the arms that are coming out there, what they're throwing. The pitch is 97 with sink, a slider right off it. They've got, plus command. How do these guys hit that pitching? And it is just, it's remarkable just the level of talent that you're watching there in the World Series. So that was a huge takeaway for me. It's just like, how is a guy like Aaron Judge playing center field?
I have a question for you guys. You guys remember that play to Rizzo that Cole just didn't cover, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whose fault do you think that was? Because I've been getting into it with my friends, and like I'm on Cole. Like I'm against. I think it's Cole's fault personally, but like I don't know. I've been getting a lot of people saying Rizzo too, and I just.
Pete,
it's
you
a little bit
probably
of
did it at
both.
Lewis. Like for those that don't know, three of us on here were college pitchers. Like you practice PFPs until like your eyes bleed. Like just in college, and like when you're in spring training, that's all you do. Like
you got. We were told, over there.
Ball to the right side, just get over there.
I'm actually
100%.
kind of surprised it's even a conversation. It's on Cole 100%. He didn't get over there. It's on Rizzo. You don't expect him to be there. You expect him not to be there until he is, and then you have to know the runner. It's Mookie Betts. Like you can't expect Rizzo to beat him to the bag. Like. Especially with the velocity that ball was hit with. Like, to me, it's not even a question. It's on Cole, first and foremost. He's not there. On top of that, could Rizzo have done a better job? Absolutely. And then it just gets magnified because of the situation. Every 90 feet in the postseason is huge. But, yeah, you hate when something like that happens because Cole was locked in. And it was impressive. I mean, that guy, I was getting Justin Verlander vibes. Just the way his presence on the mound, the way he, zero emotion, on to the next pitch. Let's make this pitch as good as I can make it. He had feel for everything. He could go to any pitch in any count. I loved the demeanor he had on the mound. But, yeah, that just can't happen. So sorry for jumping on that, but that, to me, is 100% all day, every day on the pitcher. If you're not there, it's on you. And then Rizzo, you can't expect him to be there. And then also you got to know the runner. Like that to me is it. If it's I don't even know anybody that's slow-footed in the big leagues, but if it's somebody more slow-footed, and maybe Rizzo then can easily get over there. But come on, Cole. So yeah, that was a huge part though,
Yeah.
Pete. Like that was a huge defining factor in that game. There were a lot of those though. So
Yeah, and kind of just, to highlight more on Freddie Freeman, who was the World Series MVP. Game 1, walk-off grand slam to win it for them. And then he's the only player to hit 4 home runs in the first 4 games of the World Series. And then he's the only player to hit a home run in 6 consecutive World Series games. And that, I think, goes back to, 2021 when he was with the Braves. But also he tied for the most RBIs in a single World Series, which is 12.
that was he tied
so
the most
big World Series.
So what's amazing to me in that stat is they only played 5 games. That's if they won 4-1, and it's a lot of production in a small amount of games compared to being able to play 6 or 7.
But kind of bringing this back to the prep baseball Illinois-Wisconsin landscape, Drew. We got some guys in the World Series that were from Illinois and Wisconsin, and Jake Cousins, Gavin Lux, and Bobby Miller.
It's like the coolest part now with what we do is being able to watch all these past Illinois high school players and see what they do in minor leagues, in the college, in the college ranks. And then obviously you get your 1%ers that make it all the way to the big leagues. And to see a guy like Gavin Lux, who was a mainstay at, PBR events back in Wisconsin back in the day, Super 60 guy. I got up close and personal looks at Gavin Lux a bunch, and just how you would draw up an athlete, left-handed hitting shortstop. I know they got him playing second base, but he can kind of play anywhere. He's athletic enough. And always been a huge fan of him. He's always had the it factor, but to see him, on the main stage playing in the World Series, starting, is just really, really cool. And then Bobby Miller did not make the 40-man, I don't believe. Had an up and down year, had a tough year, but he's a high level younger prospect for the Dodgers that has all kinds of velo. McHenry High School, went to Louisville out of high school and became a high pick there, and has just continued to kind of skyrocket up the system, and now has been in the big leagues with the Dodgers for a while. But really cool to see what Bobby's done. And then Jake Cousins, the guy that was pitching out of the bullpen for the Yankees, and Sean Duncan, owner, created Prep Baseball Report here in Illinois, shot us a note on that. Like, hey, Jake Cousins, really cool story, what he went through. I started in 2015 here with Prep Baseball. He was a 2013 grad out of Wheaton Academy. I didn't know him. I didn't know he was in the Yankee system. So, when Sean sends that over, that is just really, really cool, and even more of a throwback, which I love. He came to the All-State back in the day, preseason All-State in the winter, and just really, really cool. He pitched in 3 games in the World Series. So you love seeing that representation here in the Midwest, especially in Illinois, and hopefully it continues. I know last year we had Alec Thomas playing in the World Series with the Diamondbacks, so let's keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely.